Welcome to another over-budget episode of Monday Movie Pickup. So it's the Criterion sale at Barnes & Noble right now, so I have a couple of those, but let's get the non-Criterion stuff out of the way. This is the Giant Gila Monster. This is a movie that I've actually reviewed before on my channel through Conquering 200 Films. It was one of those movies that's included on the Tales of Terror horror box set. So very much of its time. It's got a charm to it. I remember the song in the movie more than the movie itself, but interesting movie that did get a Blu-ray release along with The Killer Shrews. I can't remember if that movie's included in the Tales of Terror box set, but regardless, this is actually a double set that comes with 2 different discs. I did not expect this. I thought that this was going to be on 1 disc. It's very cool that they actually have 2 separate discs and all of these different special features for both movies. So the movie, the Blu-ray is promoted very much for the Giant Gila Monster, but The Killer Shrews is getting just as good of a release. It has all these different versions of it, as far as having the TV format version or the theatrical version. There's even this whole booklet that has all these write-ups about these movies. It's incredible how much effort went into this little Blu-ray release. This was done by the Film Masters. I believe this is the first release they did with that label. You can see the movies on their website as of now. So they did the Giant Gila Monster along with the Killer Shrews, but they have a couple other releases coming up. The biggest one I'm looking forward to is The Terror, that's getting packaged with the original Little Shop of Horrors. I'm very much looking forward to getting that movie on Blu-ray. And then we have Wonder Woman. So this is the original television show. This includes all of the episodes and a bunch of special features, which it's interesting. I have never actually seen anything from this TV show. DC, it seemed like they had Batman and a Superman show from back in the 50s, and then they had Wonder Woman, so they really dominated the space as far as superhero television goes way before the superhero boom came around. It does come with a quick booklet that just shows the different episodes. That's really it, but you have all these discs packaged in here, and they have all the seasons compiled. And let's move on to the Criterions. This is Jackie Chan, Emergence of a Superstar. It has A Half Loaf of Kung Fu, Spiritual Kung Fu, The Fearless Hyena 2, The Young Master, and My Lucky Stars. All these movies, I've never heard of any of them. I have the Jackie Chan sets from Shout Factory, which those titles I've heard a lot more of. A lot of them I had not seen, but still I've heard of the titles before. These ones are incredibly unique to me, but you can see that they go from the years 1978 to 1985. That was still in the early years of Jackie Chan, and based on the forum that I had read on Blu-ray.com, a lot of people were saying that these weren't the best titles to come from Jackie Chan. Some people were thinking it wasn't really Criterion worthy, which, you know, if you're going to use Criterion, what makes something Criterion worthy? I'm not really sure. There's, I've read arguments about it online before, but to me it's just another Blu-ray label. Sure, it was one of the early boutique labels, but to me now at this point, based on the fact that a lot of studios are giving up on the format, all the boutique labels are important to me. Criterion, I think, is still one of the best, but the biggest part is that it's good that Jackie Chan's getting some kind of Blu-ray release for all of his movies in the US. I did not push this set all the way into the slip box. I had heard people complain online about this as well, but my experience was the same. It's very tough to get this set out of this slipcover, so my suggestion would be, once you get it out, do not push it back in and try your best not to damage it. I do not know if they're reimbursing people for it right now. But here are the films, and as you can see, some of the movies are included on 1 disc, but 2 of the films have their own disc. And there's lots of special features to dig through. There's the booklet that usually comes with all of the Criterion discs. I did an unboxing of this on my other channel, so if you want to check it out there, please go for it. That would be great. The Furies. I actually don't know about this one at all. This was more of a blind buy, but I thought the set was really nice because it came with the original book that the movie was based on. It's an older movie from 1950, but there's disc, and it comes with a booklet with the write-up on the inside, which is great. Love that with Criterion discs. But the coolest thing was, it also comes with the original novel. So You can read it, you can watch it, or you can watch it then read it. Double Indemnity. I actually owned this movie already. I had not upgraded to the Criterion disc yet. Saw the movie a few years ago. I need to give it another watch. But at the time, I didn't know if I wanted to run off to get the Criterion or if I would upgrade it at all. And it even came with 2 discs, so some of the special features are put on disc 2. And the booklet. Yeah, it's weird because, like, I know this is one of those classic film noirs, but I remember not being, like, too sucked into it. It was a good movie for sure, but it wasn't one that I immediately considered, like, a classic in my heart. But I do have to give it another watch. Maybe I'll see something the second time around. I have been sitting way too long on getting the Charlie Chaplin movies. I had seen a lot of them in high school and in college, but it was about time I start getting some of these on Blu-ray. You know, I guess my biggest reasoning is that, well, I've seen them already. I don't need to rush to buy the Blu-rays to watch them again. But it's been a few years now, and, you know, I do like these movies a lot. City Lights is one that I probably remember the least amount. So this is one that I wanted to return to, and this was one that happened to be at the sale. I was actually looking out for The Kid, which I think might be my favorite Charlie Chaplin movie. But again, I'd have to rewatch City Lights, which I know people often say is the best of his movies, and The Great Dictator. I haven't seen that since high school, and I remember liking it, so I should probably give that one a watch again. But The Kid, I remember really liking. I thought that was just a perfect movie. And The Gold Rush, I've seen as well, and that's another one I have to get through the Criterion collection. The only one I have is The Great Dictator, so at some point, all these Charlie Chaplin movies are going to get rewatched, and there's so many great special features, not only on this disc, but on all the Charlie Chaplin sets. The Criterion Charlie Chaplin sets are just... they're great. Look at that great artwork inside, too. It's just awesome. The Manchurian Candidate, the 1960s political thriller with Frank Sinatra during that time that he was doing acting. And I haven't seen a lot of Frank Sinatra movies. This is one that I've been meaning to watch for a long time now. And I will say it, like, it's cool that Criterion will give out posters like this. But I'm not a big fan of when they do it like this, because you're supposed to do all the reading on the back for the essay that's written for the movie, but I don't find that this is the best way to read through it. I'd prefer the booklet. If you're going to do a poster, make a separate poster and then do the booklet. And last but not least, another new release. This is Freaks, along with The Unknown and The Mystic. So a bunch of Todd Browning productions. Freaks is probably the most famous of the 3 movies here. I already own The Unknown on a different set, a Lon Chaney set that came from, it was actually a TCM release. So, I mean, it came from Warner Brothers, but it was actually labeled from TCM. And that set included The Unknown, along with a couple other more obscure Lon Chaney movies, including the recreation of London After Midnight. Someone took some of the photos or whatever existing material there is from that movie and recreated the film based on the screenplay. So that set's great, and it's cool that it's included on this set because a lot of those movies are not on Blu-ray, but it would be cool if that entire Lon Chaney set got a Blu-ray release at some point. But Freaks is one that I've been meaning to get to for a long time, but from what I had seen, there had never really been a proper Blu-ray release for the movie. It was pretty tough to find. I'm sure there was a DVD release, but usually how it goes is that Universal, they did a great set with all of their monster movies, all their horror movies, but Freaks is not from Universal, so oftentimes it doesn't get the same kind of treatment as an early horror classic, if you call it that anyway. There it is. Freaks gets its own disc, and then The Unknown and The Mystic are thrown on another disc. I think I would have bought Freaks on its own anyway, but given that it looks like they don't list it here, they list everything as one runtime. I think Freaks only is around 60 minutes long, so that might be why they included the other movies as well. And then there's the booklet on the inside. It looks like the writing is done for all the movies together. It's not done for each individual film, but still, it'll be interesting to read through that. Great to finally watch Freaks, and then that's everything this week, and thanks so much for watching. Thanks for watching the video, and special shout out to Lauren, Anthony, Anna, Kirsten, Spencer, Lucas, Ryan, and Robert for the support on Patreon. By joining my Patreon, you can get exclusive videos and blogs, and for only $7, you can request your own movie review. I hope you stick around, Cinephile, and have a happy, productive day.